The voice of the Cougs, Matt Chazanow.
It's that time of the week. It's that time of the season here. We've got a coach's show here with the skipper, Brian Green, and there's a lot of meat on the bone here, Skip. There's a lot of baseball to talk about, a lot of positive discussions. And let's just start this past weekend. You play the 8th-ranked Oregon Ducks. You lose the Friday game, and then you come back, and just like you did in Berkeley, you take Saturday, you take Sunday, you're really hitting the ball, got some national attention from some of the folks who cover the baseball on the national scene going, hey, what's going on there on the Palouse? What's going on here in Pullman? And now you've got the Bruins in. There's a path. There is a path to the postseason.
Yeah, how about that? 4 weeks ago, it's a different conversation, but 3 out of 4 pack series back-to-back where we lose on a Friday and then come back and win Saturday, Sunday. It's really hard to do in our league. And just so proud of the kids. They've been grinding. We've gotten better each and every week just with attitude and perseverance and competitiveness and all those things that you really need that are objective traits. But we are hitting the ball. We are pitching with about 5 guys right now, and if we can get 7 to 8 this weekend, we've had spurts, in and out with guys. But Zane Mills has been really the staple just in terms of what's happened with weekends. He's given us that anchor on a Saturday. If Brandon's been lights out, here comes Zane, and on Sunday we've got a chance. If it didn't go our way on Friday, Zane has given us that staple again. So we've been in a position for 4 weeks now on a Sunday to win series, and 3 of 4 times we've done that. So exciting times in the Palouse. We've got a different conversation going into this weekend against UCLA in week 7. And that's exciting. That's where we want the program to be.
Let's go back to something you just said. You've gotten better every week, and you can really look at the fielding. There's a very strange game in Salt Lake City. And actually going back in Phoenix, there were some oddities, inconsistencies at least, for what non-conference was and then what pack play is now. Mm-hmm. And one game that comes to mind is the 5-error game. That was an odd game. And, look, baseball is a big sample high frequency sport for a reason. It's not one game that can be extrapolated through the whole year. You want the cumulative effect, but you have gotten better. You've gotten noticeably better. When you look back at that, were there things you focused on back here at home and when you were practicing? Was it kind of a narrative with the coaching staff to the players? How do you try to look at things mid-season and improve week to week like that so dramatically?
I think, Chaz, for us, we just talked about in being just really program reality based in terms of where are we right now. And I think with preseason, there was a level of play, and then it was conference play. And immediately 4-4 runners became 4-2 runners for our defense. And we needed to speed up. We needed to play faster. We didn't come into pack play unprepared, but we came into pack play a little bit inexperienced. We also didn't have a Kyle Russell who is playing an unbelievable defense. Colden's a guy at short who's just getting better. Jack Smith is just getting better. We had some guys a little bit banged up when we started Pac-12 play. And I think what happens there is when you get into the conference and it's just so athletic. Here's infield singles. Here is a 5th or 6th step where Arizona State's guy takes 4 to get to that ground ball. And I think we experience a little bit of that. And just of late, we're really healthy. We're at a good position. But we're playing better defense. There's no question about that. Our guys' first step is better. Our pre-pitch is better. Our pitchers are in the zone more. And because of that, our anticipation of contact is better. So, and our concentration's better. I think we have different expectations than we did a month ago. The expectation now is that we can do this. It's not that we hope to do it or don't blow it, but you know what? We can do this thing, and we've proven now that we can put our fists up and compete with anybody in the league, and it's an unbelievably tough league, but we know in the 7th inning we've got a chance to still be standing there, and that's been really positive for our guys. It's given our guys a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it's to a point now where you're 1 through 9 in the lineup offensively. I mean, it's not. There's really no break. I mean, Jake Meyer was really hot. You've got Russell batting 300 in the 9 spot. That's that 7 spot. You've kind of played around with a little bit. There's some shifts from game to game, but really 1 through 9 now you could score double-digit runs in a game.
Yeah, it's exciting right now. With Swartz has really kind of jumped in there a little bit. McKeon's been so good all year. You've got Jones who can spell a right-handed slider guy, so we're kind of rotating that thing in and out. Russell's kind of just locked it down at second, and really he's hitting 300, but Russell's deal has been his defense. I mean, he's been phenomenal. He makes plays to his right and left. He's got range left and right that we don't really have, and him and Cody up the middle have been phenomenal. So
He hit a ball. He hit a ball in right field. I mean, in right field, not near right field. He got a ball. The ball was way beyond. It should have been a single.
Yeah,
no question.
I think that's the play of the series for us in terms of winning it. Smith's up. It's the 8th inning. He's leading off the inning. He hits a ball in the 4. Here comes a leadoff hit. We've had our issues with the bullpen or late and all that, and it's Sunday. And it's Oregon, and they're 8th in the country, and they're really good, and they're old, and they're tough. And Russell makes a play that, it's full extension, dive to his left. Here's a freshman doing that with a leadoff hitter and says, no, we're going to win this game today. But you have to do those types of things in order to do that against an opponent like that. And in the pack, that opponent is essentially week to week. So you look at that Russell play, you look at Swartz up against the wall, you look at Jack in the bottom or the top of the 7 with the diving play he made. We played really good defense on Sunday, and you know what? That's what you have to do if you really want to win a series.
Those 3 plays were consecutive.
Back to back to back. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
All 3 of them. That ended the 7th, and then those 2 started the 8th. And it was 6 outs left in a 5-run game against a very good Oregon team. Anything can still happen.
Yeah.
And then you've got, just like that, you've got 4 outs left, and it felt like, well, to your point, I think the Cougs going to take it.
Yeah, it's a different feeling, but you always want your pitcher, you always want your hitter to get the 2-out RBI, but it's those defenders that take those plays away. If you go back to Arizona, we were knocking on that series all weekend as well. We had a great Friday. But Dante Williams was out in center field saying, no, those doubles, they're not going to drop. It's not happening on my watch. And that's the fun part of the league. There's just so many good players.
He's a great defensive center fielder.
The best in the league, yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
And that is the fun part of this league.
Yeah.
Now UCLA comes in here this weekend, and they were preseason the top team in the pack. They're 12-9, and so the record's inverted. They have – it's easy to say every Pac team's had a hard schedule, but they've almost taken some. They have taken some really hard series, and there's a really good UCLA team.
Yeah, really good. It's going to be fun for me personally. Coach Savage, gave me my first really big break from Hawaii, and was with him for 4 years. And he's a big, important, pivotal coach in my life, and someone that I care for tremendously. So. But look forward to scheming against him. It's going to be a challenge. I think he's one of the best pitching coaches in the country, year in and year out. He proves that. But they got a great team. Top to bottom, you look at them. We've seen them a ton on film already. Left and right balance. They're hitting home runs. They're scoring runs of late in pack play. So we're going to have to do a really good job of keeping it down and working both sides and doing what you're supposed to do to keep an offense off balance. But, pitching-wise, they've got heavy appearances in the bullpen. They've got some guys that they really trust, and they've got some big names, coming at you on the weekend. So we're going to have to be dialed in. And the positive thing for us is it's Bailey Brayton. It's an offensive park. We're very confident here. We score runs here. And but we're going to need to do our best in terms of being concentrated to hit their pitching, because a lot of other guys can come in and give you 3-4 pitches for strikes, and that's what elite staffs do. That's what Oregon showed us a little bit, and UCLA is certainly going to show us that.
Yeah, Zach Petway's been around a while. He's a really good arm for them, and it seems like every year UCLA's got 2-3 guys who are going to be, in all likelihood, big leaguers or will flirt with it, or what.
No question.
And you lived it. You saw it. What was it like? What's the UCLA baseball experience like? It's a little different than some of the other sports there. It's kind of tucked away off campus there, and actually they have their own little weight room now down the left field line near the. What is it, like a bird sanctuary?
There's
a
sanctuary out there, yeah.
You can hear them during the game.
Veterans,
sometimes the birds are really, really loud. But it's Jackie Robinson Ballpark, and when you turn off the highway there, it's its own little world. You're in this own little baseball world. What is that? What was that like for you as a coach?
It was awesome. I grew up a UCLA fan. I grew up in Temecula in Southern California, and so Pac-12 baseball is all I knew. So UCLA, to get an opportunity to work there for John Savage, was an unbelievable opportunity for me and our family, and we're forever grateful. But Friday nights were one game, and then Saturday and Sunday day games were a completely different game. Really tough to score on Friday nights at Jackie, which I think Coach has now gone to Friday night games both Friday and Saturday. But it's a tough place to score there. And then on a day game, the ball just gets really offensive there. But it was awesome, it was still Pac-12 baseball then. I think there were 6 first-round drafts in our first year there on Friday nights on the mound, whether it was Lincecum or you name it. But no, it was a tremendous experience. You went over to Jackie, which it's Jackie Robinson Stadium. There's a lot of history there. Great players. It was at one time the most big leaguers that come through UCLA that were current players. Awesome experience, and forever grateful that I had it.
You have a lot of connections with current programs, of course, in the pack, but a lot of the coaches. I mean, you come here onto the Palouse, John Savage being one of them. Of course, you have a connection to the Beaver program. You are very, very close with the new pitching coach at Utah. Gary Henderson, you've been around a long time. There's just a lot of – it's a small business, and a lot of coaches know each other, but it's even actually a step further here, I think, with you right now in this situation.
Yeah, and I'm just really, really fortunate, and I'm lucky that my wife always told me that I was going to be fortunate just in terms of just respect the opportunity that you were given. And I've been given some unbelievable opportunities, but more importantly, those are people that I was just so grateful for the opportunity at the time, and they've remained friends in my life and really pivotal people in my life. And, yeah, Gary and John in the league, those are – I mean, Gary Henderson is I'm as close to Gary as anybody, and Coach Savage, came to my dad's passing. He came to his funeral, and that meant just so much to me, and he's an important person in my life. So, but more on the baseball side of things, I've been around some unbelievably great baseball coaches, and I've been able to just be smart enough to keep my mouth shut and listen and learn.
How much do you pull from those guys now? Yeah, all the time, just kind of baked in, or do you say, well, what would John do here? What did he used to do? All that sort of thing.
100%. I mean, if you look at how we attack practice, or how we attack practice planning, or how we attack fall preparations, or how we attack recruiting, those are all pieces of those people that I've been around. And a big part of how we practice here on the Palouse is how we practice at UCLA, and or how we do our infield defense has to do with Gary Henderson or John Savage or Pat Casey. So, I mean, you just I've been around some really good dudes, and I tell you that when young coaches always ask, if you had any advice, what would you say? And I would say, find a way to just get around the best in the business, and just ask them if you can sit there and serve them coffee and just shut your mouth and listen. And I was really fortunate at a young age to be around some great ones.
We've got a lot to talk about here. We are up against the break. Got to take it. UCLA's coming in. Cougs are 9-12. Have won 3 of the last 4 pack series. We're talking baseball here with the skipper, Brian Green. There are some questions on social media we'll get to. We'll do the whole thing. We're live here with Brian Green here on the Palouse. We're in the press box at Martin Stadium on a perfect Eastern Washington day, 70 degrees, and it's just going to be an amazing baseball month here on the Palouse. We'll take a break. We're live here with Coach.
For Cougs, there's no place like WSU. Late night apps at the Coug, early morning tailgating at Martin Stadium, and every day spent rocking the crimson and gray. And until we get back to campus, Cougs can keep a piece of home wherever they go with the official WSU debit and credit cards from BECU. Learn more at becu.org/WSU. Federally insured by NCUA.
The weather is changing, and now is the time to prepare your home for winter with some new energy-efficient windows from McVey Brothers. McVey Brothers specializes in top-rated Cornelane window series that has the newest technology to reduce your heat bills and the perfect replacement door to secure your home. And right now, when you install 4 new quality windows, we'll give you the 5th window at 50% off.
McVey Brothers Siding and Windows, we're working for you.
Give us a call for your free quote today.
This is Cougar Baseball on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
And now, a moment of chill from Coors Light. Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment. Made to chill in a canoe, holding a beer instead of a paddle. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Do you ever pay attention to overhead power lines? If you're like most people, you don't, but you should. Especially when you're working up on a roof or carrying a ladder outdoors. Kids who climb trees and fly kites and adults with drones need to watch out for power lines too. And on the off chance that you find a downed power line, stay at least 10 feet away and quickly call 911 and Avista. Always pay attention to power lines. It's your best line of defense. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
Here we are back here live with the skipper, Brian Green. Skip, the RPI jumped up basically 20 points, 15, 20 points from over a 72-hour period. From Friday to Sunday, you went up into the 50s. There are 3 pack series left. There are 2 non-conference midweek games left. There's 1 non-conference series left. So you have 4 weekends left, 3 pack weekends. You go UCLA here. You go to Dato Field to play at USC. That's the last road pack series. And then you've got the non-conference TBD opponent, and then you have the Huskies here for the final 3. So what is the path? I mean, off the top, I had alluded to the postseason path. What is it? And is it every year? I don't want to say the same, but do you have a number of series you need to win to get to the postseason in mind?
And I think, Chaz, because of what you just said of what we did with the Oregon series, is you jump 20 points in a weekend. The understanding in our league is that 15-15 or 500 in conference. If you can do that because of the strength of the league, your RPI is probably going to be in the 30s, if not high 20s, if you take care of business in the preseason. So, for us, a couple of things that have really impacted our RPI. Obviously, 3 out of 4 series in the pack, but more importantly, winning 2 series on the road in the pack, being 15-9 on the road. We're road warriors, but we have to be. And if we're not a good road team here, we're going to have a hard time. But but being conference or being even in conference is kind of the formula. So, if you look at the path, we're 9-12. You got 9 to go. Can you go 6-3? That gets you to 15-15, and that would make you really essentially earn it, which means you're winning a series on the road and probably one against the Bruins, which is a really tall task, but possible, and then the Huskies down the year. So the exciting part for us is that we're even talking about this.
Right.
And I don't mean to downplay our program, but we've just built every week, and we just keep getting better and better. And the next thing you know, all of a sudden we look up and go, hey guys, we're no longer talking about getting better. We're not talking about competing. We're not talking about just grinding. We're talking about we got 3 series left, and if we can win 2 or 3 series, we've got a chance to put at least a resume in front of somebody and say, hey, what do you think? And that's exciting for our program because those are the expectations, at least to be in that conversation every year. But to do it right now in our first Pac-12 year together is pretty exciting. It's a tribute to our players because it's all the returners. It's Manzo, it's Mills, it's White, it's Montez. And, I mean, it's really, really cool. So great weekend against Oregon. And we told our team when we went into it, look, guys, we're not really knocking, but we're at least kind of walking up to the front door. We've got Oregon coming to town, and we got the Bruins coming to town. If we want to change the complexion of this season and this year, we need to win these 2 series. And if we do that, then we're going to be having a much different conversation with ourselves about the final 2 weeks of the season. So it's exciting. And we took care of business in week 1. And the cool part was we got really, really punched in the gut on a Friday, and our guys responded, and it was awesome.
You had the 4th most road wins in the country before last weekend. So I don't know where that stands now with what happened this past weekend, but it probably just is about right still. You're top 5 in America in road wins. I think you played 25 road games and you won 15 of them, and now you have the 9-pack wins. I mean, it sounds like a postseason discussion if you win this UCLA series.
In that it is. It's been a big one for us. We've been on the road, 9 times, or we've got we had 2 at Cal, we had 2 at Utah, we got 1 at Oregon State. So, there's 5 and 5 and 7 on the road, I think is what it is for us in 4 actually weekends with Arizona State, Corvallis, Utah, and Cal. But we're 5 and 7 on the road in pack play, so we're lingering at 500 on the road. Obviously, you get a winning record at home. It's a tough league. It's an unbelievable league. Every week is the same. It's real, and somebody's got more speed on offense. Somebody's got more bullets on the mound. But yeah, I mean, we're 5 and 7 in pack play on the road. So that's what's really kept us alive. And now we've got 2 of the next 3-pack series at home, and the weather's warm. And when the weather's warm, this place is offensive, and that's the strength of our team, which we're really excited about. We like to hit here. So looking forward to the weekend. It's going to be a real challenge, but it's a good place to play. We would certainly rather play the Bruins at Bailey Brayton than we would at Jackie Robinson. That's for sure.
You had a lot of close losses also, and initially in pack play, it's really rare that you're going to go through the whole year, have as much talent, and play like you guys have played, and keep losing all those games, right? I mean, it must have been sort of odd to have that many, frankly, because you guys are better than that. You've shown it. And now it's kind of all coming back together. What was it like as the head? You've been doing this a long time. When you're good enough, and you and I kind of had some discussions where you're going, gosh, that's a series. We had the series. We're in the 8th in Corvallis. We have that ball game. It's tied. what was that like? Was it odd to say, why are they're not coming? They're all not coming our way. Now they are. Now it's kind of come around.
I think a couple of things with that, but this season is, and the program building has really been like a staircase, and it was like, can we compete? Yes, but let's start with just a simple component of just belief, and not here we go again, or we're playing whoever we're playing in conference. So that playing Stanford triggers 14 in a row. Well, that 14 in a row is in the past. This is just our Coug team versus their team. And so that was kind of the first step, was just getting to a spot of, guys, we can do this. There's none of that here we go again garbage that we had a little bit early on. But I think, Chaz, what really started to happen is we started knocking every weekend.
Yeah.
And as we started knocking, we started to get a little more belief, and then we still won. And then at Utah, just getting 2 on the road was like, wow, we can really do this. And, and now the next step for the program and the stretch drive, which we're talking about with our kids, is, we've been able to do it 3 out of 4 weekends in the conference, and we haven't done that in a long time. We've been able to do it on the road. We've now been able to do it at home when it's really offensive against a physical, good offensive team like Oregon. UCLA is going to pose the same problem, as well as being so talented on the mound. But now it's about the 6 pitchers that are competing on a daily basis for us. We need 7 and 8. And that's really where it comes down to is, we've just been a guy or 2 short on the mound to give it to you to collectively on a weekend. And this is the time, and there's an opportunity for somebody to say, I'm going to jump in, like a Grant Taylor has. We've had Hawkins, we've had Zane and Brandon, of course. But we need those. We need 4, 2, 3 guys to jump in and just join the party and give us more than 5 guys that are just doing it week in and week out. And if we can get there, we've got a chance to have a pretty decent stretch run.
Grant Taylor was really good.
Really good.
Came on in pressure situations. He hasn't thrown a lot this year.
Yeah.
It was only his 5th appearance, I think, off my head, and he hasn't thrown a lot in pack play. So comes out and he throws hard, and he's got the firm fastball, and and it was working. It was all working for him, and got a couple key strikeouts. He's got a high strikeout rate. I mean, it's a small sample size, but he's got a high strikeout rate, and Newstrom's been there, right? He's one of those guys in the mix there, and there've been a lot of guys. There's been Barrison and Owen Leonard and Haft and Calber, Sierra. There've been a lot of guys.
And they've given it to you a week in, and then not there the next week. And, just for those guys, and they all have the stuff. Really excited about Barrison right now. That's 2 or 3 weekends in a row where he's getting better. And mechanically there's an adjustment, more strikes, more command. Will has been really good at times and then okay at times. But, again, it really just comes down to everybody contributing more on a Tuesday or Wednesday game where we don't fry our pitching staff. Where we go into a Friday and we're a little thin, guys got to step up, and the offense got to step up, the defense, everybody. And but I think we're at a spot where there's a little more confidence in terms of we're not concerned about not performing. I think we're a little bit more concerned about just having fun chasing, and that's where I would love for our program to always be.
All right, we're going to take a break. I want to talk next segment. I'm going to plant this seed, and we'll ruminate over it over the next 2 minutes off air. Let's go off the baseball field. I want to talk. We'll talk program big picture.
Yeah.
The vision for Bailey Brayton. How you want to utilize that facility, because we really haven't had the full fan experience yet. We still have some restrictions. We're still masked. We're still doing things that we need to do. So this knocking on all the wood we can knock on seems to be trending in the right direction with health and wellness in mind, all those things. And we'll talk real big picture about 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line with success, and optimism. So we're live here with Brian Green, with the skipper. We'll talk baseball here with the skip. We are on the cusp of a UCLA series, first of 3 remaining coaches shows. We've backloaded the coaches shows. Part of that was because of some scheduling mandates, and part of it was really fortuitous, I think, because we got a lot of baseball to talk about.
Well, we need to win.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Well, and you've done it to date. So there's a lot to talk about. We're live. We'll come back next.
At Boeing, we support events that bring us closer, make our communities better places to live and work, and help us build a sound future together. That's why we are proud to be the title sponsor of the Boeing Apple Cup Series. When we celebrate this long-standing rivalry, we celebrate Washington's spirit, and that's something we can all get behind. The Boeing Apple Cup Series, here for the rivalry, here for the tradition.
I love the stadium hot dogs.
I love screaming until I'm hoarse.
Ooh, tailgating.
Yelling at the ref for a bad call.
Yelling for first downs.
High-fiving for a touchdown.
Fist bumps.
Chest bumps.
The long lines at the bathrooms. Wait, no, I don't.
Celebrating the wins with fellow 12s.
Make this season your season, wherever you are. Fan out with Seahawks Scratch from Washington's Lottery. You could win 2021 season tickets for $2 or $50,000.
Odds of winning the prize are 1 in 3.43. Odds of winning a second chance prize depend on the number of entries received. Must be 18 or older to purchase. Keep it fun and know your limit.
This is Jay Miller, and you're listening to Cougar Baseball on the Washington State Sports Network.
Right now, the gap between what you should save and what you can save has never felt bigger. The U.S. Bank mobile app can help by finding ways to help you reach your savings goals with personalized insights that fit your real life to make your financial goals feel within reach. Because even our tools are smart enough to put people first. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The Kalispel tribe has always had a tradition of giving back, even when there wasn't much to give. But since opening Northern Quest 20 years ago, we've been able to give back more than ever, with 1,500 jobs, $20 million donated to the local community and nonprofits, and a $275 million economic impact on the region annually. So here's to the Kalispel hospitality that made it all possible, and to another 20 years of even better days ahead.
Back here live with the skipper, Brian Green. We are in the Martin Stadium press box talking baseball here. And Skip, I teased it in the back end of the previous segment. You know, there's a $10 million beautiful facility. Not only is it great for training and for the team and the locker room, but there's a new concession stand and there's a new setup for fans, right? Concession stand, bathrooms, so the fan experience, and a place to eat, you know, all the things that come along with the fan experience in the game. And it's beautified the hill there on campus, right? So just when you walk up, the presentation of a really prominent part of campus, aside from what it means for athletics, but for the whole university is very attractive. And so there's this whole sort of ambiance, right, with Cougar baseball when you walk in right now that's different. And that was part of what was to come. There was more than just a weight room, and it was all the aesthetic and all that it meant for the program. What's the vision here? How does it work for? What do you see as part of this for fans, for pregame and postgame? And you've got pack weekends, and you've got wins coming up, and all these things. What's the goal and the vision for the full fan experience?
It's an exciting, crystal clear vision of expectation of what it's supposed to look like, you know, a year or two from now, and. You know, you use our experience. I'll use our experience from New Mexico State, where we took a place that didn't draw or do anything and set 3 or 4 attendance records, and we had built an RV program. And, you know, I'm really clear in terms of being in the Palouse now for over a year and a half, and how crazy people are about Cougar athletics, Cougar baseball, Washington State University. So it's really clear for me as like baseball makes money. For the athletic department, it's a sellout. It's diamond dolls and butches rolling around, and there's RVs tailgating for a weekend, and it's cooking out, and it's the place to go, you know. And that for us is like that for me is what drives me. I mean, I want to see and expect to see really soon, because we're going to put a product on the field that says, we're into the community. We play hard. We're playing for this school. We're playing for this university. We're playing for this state. We're in, and we're going to play with a chip on our shoulder. And we're going to bring winning back to Washington State, and say that with a lot of confidence, in the sense of that new facility has just changed everything. Like you said, Chaz, I mean, the fan experience, it's so cool. When, like, Oregon on Sunday, we win the game, and there are as many people as can be masked up, all that stuff, but all the parents are down the line waiting for the players next to the bullpen. It's just such a cool environment. So we have an opportunity to have an unbelievably fun place for the fans. And that's really important to me, because selfishly, I'd like to win. So how do you win? Pack the stands, you know. So can we create the RV program? Can we create some beer zone, fan zone, tailgating, whatever, and make it just an event where it's fun? And those are my goals, and we want to put the product on the field that's going to support that. But what the administration and the supporters have done for Cougar baseball, hopefully we can utilize that to make Washington State athletics and the university just bigger and better. And I really believe that in my heart. I mean, I'm not cuckoo. You see what they did in Corvallis, and I think we can mirror them. I really do. I think we can have a fan zone, a student section, and all that fun stuff. And I think if we do our job on the field, I think we can get that done, and that's what drives me on a daily basis.
That is a great cousin, a land grant pack cousin to look at and say, hey, those guys, I mean, it's $3,000 a game.
I was there,
yeah,
and and Case just kept building and building and building, but the product kept getting better and better and better, and it was very fan-friendly. And I tell the story all the time in recruiting. I tell it about what's it like in Pullman. I was like, here's what it's like in Pullman. In week 3 or 4 last year of my first year, we were hovering around 400 or 500, and Niagara came to town. It's 38 degrees out. It's gray. It's windy. It's cold, and we have over 1,000 fans in the stands. And I was like, okay, we're going to draw fans here. This place is sick, and these people love the Cougs. So that hasn't left me. So as soon as we get these things off and we can go back to normalcy, hopefully, I'm just so excited to see what we can produce, because I really think and know and believe that Pullman is just so awesome for Cougar athletics. I did see it at Martin Stadium. It's just incredible. So I want to do the same thing in baseball, and we will.
And baseball is its own beast here too.
Yeah,
I mean,
we got good weather.
Yeah, there's a baseball thing. There's there's Bobo and the history, and there's the farming community, and I've gleaned that it has its own niche. There's what the Miller family has done, and kind of all that comes along with that, and what that means. Right, there's this own Cougar baseball following. Part of that's history and success, and John Olerud and Aaron Seeley and all these greats that have come through. Tom Diedenfuer, who's
here this weekend.
Throw the first pitch, and super fun. And did you know that from being in the Pac prior? Did you understand it as much as you have now that you've been here?
I didn't understand the alumni. I did understand Bobo.
Yeah.
I was at Oregon State for the 1 year, but heard all the stories, and because we had our coach who was there a long time at Oregon State as well, and knew that they butted heads pretty good.
Nice.
And they were two old schoolers just going at it. But so I knew the Bobo stories, and I knew Olerud, but I didn't know Seeley and Say and Niedenfuer and Hatterberg and and then you get the job, and these guys are keeping in touch with us and just so committed. I mean, if you come into my office, even there's pictures of Olerud and Hatterberg and Niedenfuer, and it's kind of scattered. And then the history of this place is awesome, but people really, really care about Cougar baseball.
Yeah.
And that I didn't quite get. I was really excited to share that, and I didn't have to. That's kind of coming in my way. And I also get reminded, we need to show up every day and win.
Yeah.
So, but that's a good thing.
Yeah. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
And then there's something also right about now this part I know you did know is just the quality of the Pac. I mean,
no doubt.
The Friday night thing you talked about with the first round draft picks, even Saturdays, honestly. I mean, it's Friday, Saturday, and then what you see on Sundays is Future Friday guys a lot. So you have this just phenomenal scouting, pool of talent for a lot of, obviously at every game there's MLB scouts and the whole thing. So you get this really high quality baseball, just great players, great atmospheres. I mean, and this is now, right. This is one of you're 9-12, qualitatively, like you said, 500 probably gets you in the postseason. You're not really, coulda, woulda, shoulda, can we? You're just Pac team. You're a Pac team with an All-American first baseman and Kyle Russell at second base, and you've got Zane Mills and Brandon White on the hill, and you've got guys, right? I mean, you're just a Pac program. Is it almost sooner than you expected? I mean, this is only year one in earnest for you.
Yeah.
Last year you didn't get a Pac season.
This is our first Pac season, and it's a little, you don't know what you don't know, and you know what you know, but I think it really comes down to just our players. I mean, all those guys. Montez, Manzardo, Mills, White, Colden, these returning players, Vanderbrake, and our whole team.
Smith,
my goodness,
great. Yeah.
Guy gives you everything he has, and Myers way better. And then you just plug in a Russell, you plug in a TP. I mean, these are really good players.
Yeah.
But I think that the story of our program is the commitment of the returning players, of the players that were here when I got the job, who have changed their nutrition, they've changed their bodies, they've changed their academics, they've changed their weight room habits. Manzo has got real power, and he's not even close to being done. But these guys have changed their bodies, and they're totally committed, and it's just a tribute to them. I mean, it's really, really, really fun to coach these guys, and it's just they've done it. They really, really care. We have a thing called a gas meter, and it's that you really care, I guess is the best way to say it.
Okay.
But your care meter is very high, and our returning players' care meter.
How do you gauge that? What's the grading system on that?
That's just a Coach Green only grade. Yeah. That's a coaching staff grading system. Yeah.
Practice to practice, and then I would imagine there's got to be a kind of a good teammate, academic,
absolutely,
good person type deal in there also.
No, we do. The kids actually they measure each other, they grade each other.
Do they?
Do.
So it's kind of a peer.
It's a peer evaluation.
Okay,
but then the coaches will certainly evaluate that one as well. But you're certainly. We remind everybody of your meter. Just in terms of after the fall evaluation. And how much do you really live the team first integrity model, which is so important to us.
You have veto power, I would imagine, over some votes.
Yeah,
for sure. I love it. All right, we'll do social media next. We'll do some questions next. We're live here with the skipper, Brian Green. We're talking baseball here on the Palouse.
Boost Collaborative is a proud sponsor of Cougar Baseball and is a proud supporter of people with disabilities on the Palouse. For over 50 years, Boost Collaborative has been here to help families and their toddlers meet developmental milestones. For youth and adults, Boost provides job placement, on-the-job training, and follow-along supports. Now you can play a part in Boost's success through your donations and purchases at Palouse Treasures Thrift Store in Pullman. Boost Collaborative, empowering people with disabilities on the Palouse. Go Cougs!
One of the best parts, I think, about being an orthopedic surgeon is you have the opportunity to help patients and hopefully have an immediate impact. They have pain or they have decreased function. We get to really see them get better. We get to see their function improve. We get to see them continue their active lifestyle. It's such a rewarding thing to be able to see people get better.
Dr. Kyle Hazelwood, one of 4 surgeons at Pullman Regional Hospital's Orthopedic Center of Excellence, the region's top choice for total joint replacement. Learn more at pullmanregional.org.
This is the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
At Coeur d'Alene Casino, we're still rockin', still cooking, still shaking, still relaxing, and still winning. And we're doing it all safely. So leave the cleaning and care to us, and we'll leave the relaxing, indulging, and winning to you. Book our ready-to-escape package today for just $89.99, including a one-night stay, 2 Huckleberry Deli vouchers, and $10 extra play cash. Coeur d'Alene Casino. Welcome home.
All right, back at it here, talking baseball here with skipper Brian Green. We're going to head over to the Twitter machine, and we've got a couple questions lobbed out to you, Coach. Jennifer Delzer, great kook, always listens in, loves to participate, asks a really good question. Do any Pac-12 teams have a regular Sunday starter? Seems like a lot of teams do a short starter or a bullpen day. It's a great question.
That is a great question, and so far, as we go into week 7, I think it would be you've had 4 consistent Sunday starters who are legitimate starters, and then you've had 2 or 3 teams who have started the guy who is either potentially a relief guy. We are certainly the biggest TBA team of the league of this year, and that's just because we're an arm or 2 short of duration guys. But yeah, I think when it's going well, I think, Jennifer, the biggest thing that we see is the teams that are in the top half of the league, they've got a Sunday starter. The teams that are in the bottom half of the league, they've got a long reliever who's going over their TBA in it, and that's kind of what it's been so far.
She asks, who's better recognized on campus, baseball head coach Brian Green or football center snapper Brian Green? Which is a great question. Are offensive linemen ever more recognized than anybody, though? I think there's no doubt it's skipper Brian Green. More recognized.
Well, I hope so, but I know that we've connected on social media both via Brian Green. Yeah, it's really cool.
By the way, all Pac center Brian Green.
He's a dude.
He's really good. Yeah, he's a potential NFL center Brian Green. He's really good.
So cool.
That's fun. Lynn Carmichael wants to know, and this maybe is a little homage and I apologize in advance. I don't mean to date anybody, but Tom Niedenfuer threw the first pitch out.
Yeah.
Lynn Carmichael. Coach, what type of training, now, mind you, Tom is a big leaguer, what type of training would a 70-year-old guy do to make sure when he does the first pitch so as not to embarrass himself by throwing halfway to home? Go Cougs. He has 25 days to train.
I'll tell you what, Tom, it was unbelievable. He said he hadn't thrown a ball, and we believed him. He picks up a ball. He steps out in front of the dugout, and he literally picks it up in all of our first throw. And it wasn't one of those, shake it a few times and give you one of these. He literally he was 20 feet away, and he went.
I heard it.
Yeah,
I heard it from the batter's cage when it hit the mitt.
And all of our kids were watching, and they went, "Oh,
yeah!"
And I went, "Big leaguer,
big leaguer." Yeah,
yeah,
right.
He's still loose.
That's a big leaguer. Yeah, it looked great.
Yeah.
It looked really good. It was a fun question. It's a fun moment to have a big leaguer come back and throw the first
And as a
pitch.
Southern California guy growing up, a Dodger fan, Tom Niedenfuer, legend, with the Dodgers. That was really cool. And he's a great Coug. He really cares about this program. He's now delivered 2 speeches. In fact, he delivered one before the Oregon game about entitlement and getting after it, and it was really good, and it was really well received, and obviously it worked. So I'm really appreciative of his support, and it's really cool to be able to have a channel to him because he's a great Coug and a great big leaguer. So that was really cool.
How much do the kids have a sense of the history, right? I mean, there are jerseys up, or there were jerseys up in the Jay Miller batting complex, and then you've got your office, right, where there's some stuff going on there.
That game in the top of the 7th inning.
In
the bottom of the 7th inning, 24th ranked UC Irvine. They took 2 against Oregon State last weekend and now find themselves in the rankings. They're leading Long Beach State 8-5 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Number 7 Louisville trailing Clemson 11-1. Number 8 Notre Dame blanks North Carolina 4-0 in the final in that one. Number 20 Florida State 3-2 winners over Troy. And number 3 Texas falls. Number 11 Texas Tech 6-3 the final in Austin. That's been a look at the Pac-12 as well as some scores from the top 25 from our network studios. I'm Kevin Weier. Coming up, we got an interview with Coug skipper Brian Green as we get you ready for first pitch between Washington State and Oregon here on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Opportunity to play a little bit harder and understand
for Cougs,
that the expectation is to be great here because it has been great here. And so we really try to sell that. If you come into the barn, one of the first things that we did was put a wrap-up of all the great players and all the great people who have impacted this program. So, yes, are the Millers up there? You bet. Why? Well, they're the all-time hits leaders. They're in there. Niedenfuer's up there. Say, Seeley, Hatteberg. And so then when those guys come around, or the 76 team, hey, guys, remember the 76 team, the last Omaha team of the Cougs. When those guys come around, our guys get it, and they show their type of respect and reverence that they deserve, and it's really fun. So we've had a lot of guys talk to our team in the last year and a half.
That kind of participation must mean a lot to you, right? To have the big leaguers come back. I don't know what that dynamic is like. You ask them, they say, hey, I'm in town. However that goes, they're here, and then they're able to deliver a message to the guys that I'm sure resonates. I mean, it's Tom Niedenfuer. He's a Dodger.
Totally, yeah. Or whether it's Bobby Weiss in Arizona, or whether it's Scott Hatteberg in Pullman for a football weekend talking to our kids in the fall. Those are just awesome things, and or whether it's Bobo's wife coming out and saying hello to the guys, or Fritz talking to the team. So that stuff's just so important because it just brings back tradition, it brings back history, and it brings back program. And I just think so many of us are so here these days. It's just the understanding of, hey, that jersey goes on. You're playing for the guy from the 54 team as well. We're all in this thing together. We're all Cougs. And I think wherever I've been, that's always been really important to me.
You mentioned the 76 team, and I don't know if fans know, like Omaha is not, my understanding, and I've never been, I can't wait to go, but Omaha is not like the Final Four for basketball where you go no matter what, and it's like a coaching convention, right? My understanding is it's not that. You would go if you were in it and you were competing. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. No, you either go as a fan or you go as a participant, but our coaches convention, the American Baseball Coaches Association, is in January. It's the kickoff to our season. So if you go to Omaha, you're either going as a participant or you're going as a fan. And most coaches don't go as a fan because if you're not there as a participant, you better be out recruiting, trying to get to become a participant the following year. So I've never been. I've been to Supers, I've been to Division III, College World Series, regionals. I've been knocking on it a couple times, but I've never been, and it's always been my philosophy that I'm not going to go until I'm a participant or until I retire. And so let's make sure we get that first one done.
Yeah, I like the former rather than
the
latter.
Exactly. But that's a goal of obviously of mine and my wife's, and it's a lifelong dream, and it's what we want to achieve.
It's fun. College baseball specifically is a little different. Maybe it's a lot different. It's always in the same place.
Yeah.
So Omaha has embraced it. Rosenblatt has embraced it. Maybe in a different. It's in Rosenblatt still, right? Or is it in a different?
TD Ameritrade now.
Right. And so it's in this one place. It's in this one city that has wrapped its arms around it. It's not like the Olympics, which bounces around, or the Final Four, which is in different cities. And those are great events also. But there's something different about it going to Omaha, right? If you're in big college baseball.
Yeah, and it's like if you come into the BTO, the Back to Omaha project,
right.
If you walk in and you turn and you see the wrap and you see the statue at TD Ameritrade and you see Bailey Brayton Field, and then you see 1,415 miles to Omaha. And obviously, if you're not dreaming big, then why dream? So for us, is it a long way away? You bet. But the next thing you know, you get a couple of good starts, you get hot in the postseason, and the next thing you know, you've won 2 series, and all of a sudden you're fainting because you're doing that. And that's how we look at it, and that's how quickly it can happen. But it's really, really hard. I certainly know that because I've never been. But, each week in the pack, you're playing someone who kind of has probably been there in the last 4 or 5 years.
No doubt.
So if you're in our league, it can be done. You just got to get better players and get tougher and be more competitive and get the top of the league. So really hard to do, but really fun chasing it.
Well, that's the thing about the pack is if you do get to the postseason from it, there's no question you could go to Omaha.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not anytime a pack team goes to, it'd be weird if there wasn't a pack team in Omaha. It'd be weird if there weren't 2 pack. It happens all the time. That's not some surprise. Honestly, what happened in basketball this past year was long overdue, and the fact that there was some Cinderella pack team
awesome.
From the league, and that 4 teams did so well, zero surprise. And that same would carry over for baseball for sure. Hey, we're live here at the Skipper, Brian Green. We're up against it. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk baseball here with Brian Green here as we get set for the UCLA series.
Our goals aren't as out of reach as we once thought, because things are coming back. And if there's anything we've learned, it's that there's no time like the present. At U.S. Bank, we take the time to understand you, to help you get to where you really want to be by getting to the root of any financial obstacle so you can move forward. Because side by side, there's no telling how far you'll go. U.S. Bank, we'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
This is Cougar Baseball on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
The weather is changing, and now is the time to prepare your home for winter with some new energy-efficient windows from McVey Brothers. McVey Brothers specializes in top-rated Cornelane window series that has the newest technology to reduce your heat bills and the perfect replacement doors to secure your home. And right now, when you install 4 new quality windows, we'll give you the 5th window at 50% off.
McVey Brothers Siding and Windows, we're working for you.
Give us a call for your free quote today.
At Boeing, we support events that bring us closer, make our communities better places to live and work, and help us build a sound future together. That's why we are proud to be the title sponsor of the Boeing Apple Cup Series. When we celebrate this long-standing rivalry, we celebrate Washington's spirit, and that's something we can all get behind. The Boeing Apple Cup Series, here for the rivalry, here for the tradition.
Back at it live. We're talking baseball here with the skipper, Brian Green. We've got ourselves a UCLA series, and then we're going to LA to take on USC. We've talked about the Bruins a little bit. The thing that Cougar baseball is this year, for sure, is offensive. I mean, you're second in the pack in runs scored. what do you do in the batting cages? How is it that you come to a place and boom, you're second in the pack in offense? You were top offensive team in New Mexico State. Is it the way you coach guys in the cage? Is it off season? Is it drills? Is it karma? How do you do it? How do you do what you do?
Yeah, here's how you do it, Jazz. You do Manzardo, Peterson, and Montez, and be their hitting coach. That's how you do it. No, but we have a system, and it starts with trust. You got to get your kids to believe in what you're saying, because our thing is approach based, and we spend a ton of times in the fall on mechanics. Mm-hmm. And when we get to the spring, it's entirely about approach. But we've got to get the swing right. And we got to tighten it up. It's always about approach in terms of competing, but if your swing's not tight, you got a chance to be limited in approach, and that changes how you have to do things. So we really want to be mechanically efficient and sound, but when we get to the spring, it's heavy approach based, and it's video, and it's sitting on certain pitches and sitting on certain parts of the plate and being confident of hitting the ball to specific parts of the field, and but it's really a trust relationship that we work on in practice. I think the biggest thing that we do, if anyone asks, how do you do it or what do you do? And not that we have all the answers, but just, our style, what do we do is what we really try to do is we try to incorporate drills that are approach based, and whether that be sitting on velo or attacking velo early or sitting soft or having a two-strike approach that sits soft or you sit hard or whatever it is. I just think it's important that you get the reps. That's what I think is the most important thing, to give the players the best opportunity to be confident. When you say approach, to kind of to dig deeper into that, you mean when you get into the box, mentally, what are your expectations? How are you attacking the pitcher? Right. That's what you mean by that. Right. Is he a hard thrower? Is he a soft thrower? Is he a guy who's going to unload 3 pitches on you and you're going to see a different pitch every pitch? Or is he going to do a specific thing until he gets 2 strikes? Is he going to be on a half of a plate? Is he going to be on a third of the plate? Do you need to adjust and make a box adjustment up, back, or on top of the plate? Do you need to back off because his ball's moving India? Do you need to think about a certain part of the field in terms of where to hit it? All of those things, which are very broad and easy, that you just kind of generalize and categorize as you play longer. Typically, you see hitting and offensive teams get better as the year progresses because they have more reps. And you start to kind of just generalize and categorize what this guy is. Is he an A, a B, or a C? And basically, how do you just bucket him and then go into that type of an approach? I was talking to Manzardo after the game. Actually, you know what? We're up against it. Let me hold that thought when we take one more break, and then we'll come back, put a bow on the show next. All right. I'm going to cut myself off there. We're live here with Brian Green. We are up against it. We'll take it, and then we'll come back here and put a bow on the show.
At Northern Quest, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. But with over $220 grand in cash and prizes up for grabs, you could be celebrating a whole lot more, like a new Ford Bronco Sport in your driveway or more cash in your pocket. We've also got hotel discounts for Camus Rewards members, dining specials, spa and shopping discounts, and anniversary cocktails all month long. Northern Quest $220,000 anniversary celebration. Details at northernquest.com.
And now, a moment of chill from Coors Light. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment, made to chill in a canoe, holding a beer instead of a paddle. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
This is Scott Hatterberg, and you're listening to Cougar Baseball on the Washington State Sports Network.
Hi, it's Ruben Mays, proud Cougar and proud supporter of Pullman Regional Hospital. Our community hospital is working tirelessly to keep you and our community safe. Thank you for your generous support in the face of major expenses related to COVID-19. But listen, there's more work to be done. We need space to house a medical residency program to ensure continued access to family medicine physicians. We need you. Join us. Visit pullmanregional.org and click on Highest Needs to learn how you can help. Thank you, and welcome to the team.
For Cougs, there's no place like WSU. Late night apps at the Coug, early morning tailgating at Martin Stadium, and every day spent rocking the crimson and gray. And until we get back to campus, Cougs can keep a piece of home wherever they go with the official WSU debit and credit cards from BECU. Learn more at becu.org/WSU. Federally insured by NCUA.
back at it live here. We're talking with the skipper, Brian Green. Looking at Carney back in the studio. Skip, when you hear 60 seconds of music bed, that means when you hear music bed, we got 60 seconds left in your ear when Luke fires that. I was talking about Kyle Manzardo real quick. I want to sing his praises here. He's a fantastic ball player, but part of that is because of his mind. He was on the post-game show talking about how he muscled out a double to center field. He brought us through his thought process. They're a really smart kid. I mean, really bright baseball mind.
Big baseball IQ. Really pays attention. He coaches family, coaches kid. Those guys are really fun to coach because when they pay attention to what the pitcher is throwing, how they're throwing it, when they're throwing it, and he's very specific in terms of how he's being pitched, and he thinks like a pro, and that's why he's going to play pro baseball, and he's going to probably not be here next year, and good for him, and I'll beg him and try to shackle him down to keep him here. But no, that's how you're supposed to think as a hitter. You're supposed to pay attention to high level. That's baseball. Guys who are average skill-wise are really good players.
All right, we've got to thank Luke back in the studio. Luke Carney, great job. Jared Prengruber does a good job. He's our video guy. Jerry Kylo gets us on the air. As always, it takes the full crew to get us on here. We've got ourselves Friday, Saturday, Sunday Bruins. Tomorrow, you got a game. Trevor Williams will do a great job on the video stream, on the web stream, and then we'll be back at it against the Bruins. All these games have great import, and it's exciting.
It's Game 7 every game.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fun.
Thank you, Skip. Thanks for the time.
All right, thanks, Jazz.
All right, that's Brian Green. We're talking baseball here for this hour. We'll have 2 more shows, by the way, not next Tuesday, but the 2 Tuesdays after that. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.